Science is the study of the nominal properties of cause and effect. As science advances its body of knowledge about our universe, its measurements must become smaller and smaller, or conversely, larger and larger, arriving at the invariably unmeasurable and unobservable states and properties of physical matter. As these boundaries of observation are tested in both directions, the very limits of space and time and the material world itself brush against the constraints of the human mind. This reality has created an entirely new field of science that endeavors to overcome such constraints: quantum physics. Quantum physics deals with the very small, while its predecessor, general relativity, deals with the very large. From a nominal perspective, a grand theory that unifies the study of particulate matter and the study of massive objects should not be possible, because the infinitely small is in quite the opposite direction from the infinitely large, inasmuch as moments in the past are irreconcilably opposite from the moments in the future. However, a simple representation of this apparent contradiction between the micro and the macro can be found in the mathematical equation y squared. This is a parabola. The equation y squared is an expression of squaring, which is to say, raising the power of. It is literally any real number raised to the power of itself by multiplying itself with itself, and thus increasing its power. This is a recursive function. In a graphical representation of y squared, its value may be plotted using any real number, either negative or positive, to infinity or from 0, then raising it to the power of 2. The resulting parabolic arc contains points for literally every number from the most minute fraction or longest decimal place to 0 itself, and every number from the largest conceived to infinity itself, both positive and negative, regardless of the initial number given for y. When plotted on a graph, the appearance of the arc will never change, and the resulting graph's origin as 0 will also never change, regardless of what number for y is initially given. In this way, because raising or lowering the quantity of y never actually changes the properties of the arc, y squared is in fact a mathematical constant. It just so happens to be a constant which recursively contains the values of every possible measurement of its own results, great and small, negative and positive, whole or fractions, no matter its inputs. In this sense, y squared is in and of itself a representation of itself at both the macrocosmic and microcosmic level. In other words, the very nature of y squared is fractal. Notably, one can replace the symbol y with any other symbol representing any other mathematical concept, square it, and then write any combination of entirely different mathematical expressions on the opposite side of the equal sign. That will result in the same parabola, or the same mathematical truth, because the value of y squared is literally every quantity in math. To help that sink in, here is a classic example of one famous equation turned on its head just slightly. Does it look familiar? It should. C squared equals E divided by m, in plain English, means the speed of light squared is energy divided by mass. It's simply another expression of Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared, isolated algebraically for c squared. The constant y squared literally represents the entire universe, both observable and unobservable, mathematically.